Adrian, I think we're ready. Yeah. That's good. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you attending this evening's regular meeting of the Clay County Board of Education. I apologize for the late start here by a few minutes. We were wrapping up a previous meeting that had been recessed before this one, so we got that out of the way, and we'll go ahead and get started this evening. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Jones,
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
would you mind reading the Clay County mission statement, please?
Sure. The mission of Clay County Schools is to build high-quality learning environments that ensure all students learn at high levels.
Thank you. The only announcement we have this evening is our next regular scheduled meeting will be November the 25th here in the boardroom at 6 o'clock. And you have the agenda in front of you. It's also been emailed to you, so I'll entertain a motion that we approve that as it's presented.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Mr. Jones has a motion.
I'll second it.
Ms. Beck seconds that. All in favor? Thank you. Angel, was there any public comment? I didn't look as I came in, so, okay. No, okay, thank you. We'll start with our report section then, and we'll let Ms. Godfrey start there, if you don't mind, with a couple of school updates. And
yeah, I'm actually gonna go stand up here. So I actually have a few slides I want to share with you for my superintendent report, and they are from the Hayesville Intermediate School Project. And so one of the things that LS3P is doing for us is every month when we do our monthly construction meeting, they're taking a picture from the same place, relatively the same place, so that we'll be able to track the changes over the time of the construction. So I have from July to October in here. You can't tell significant differences just yet, but this is July. And if you can see there, one of the things is you can still see the road that went up to the old bus parking lot that had not yet been removed. There's have done a lot of excavating the site since that time. So that was July, that's what it looked like. This is August. You can see things starting to kind of change. All of these are taken out by the side of the rock gym looking over onto the site. So you can see things, the road is gone here, starting to change and shape up. Most of the work that has been done up until this point has been underground utilities. This area out here is covered with underground utilities, and so they've been working on water, sewer, power, all of those things, and now getting into the grading. Of course, we demoed the auditorium as well at the start of this project. So you can see here things starting to change. They're starting to shape for the footer and the retaining wall that will be on the back side of the school. This is September's picture, and this is October's picture. So I wanted to show you on the next slide a comparison a little bit closer up. So this first picture on the left is when they started on the footer for the retaining wall. That's what it looked like in September. And then the picture on the right is what it looks like in October. So you can see that was a really big hole that has now been filled in with concrete. There's 350 yards of concrete in that hole. So there's been substantial work being done. These pictures don't do justice to the changes that have happened. You can see on the picture on the left too, they've put in a temporary road to be able to access the backside of the building during construction. So as you can see, also on the right in October, there's been lots of rebar added into that footer. So it's impressive to see the changes. The footer project is 95% complete. What they're working on now is some of the step footings that go up the bank. So that's the part that's still left. On the next slide, we'll just have a few things that have happened. I will try to give you updates every month of what's happening. We've already talked about the footings. They installed 415 linear feet of storm drainage. We did relocate, on one of those pictures you might have seen right back behind the auditorium, there was a transformer that had to be moved, and so that work has been completed. As I mentioned, they put in a temporary road to access the lower level, sanitized and flushed the 6-inch water line, and have continued installation of the 8-inch water line. So, this is very, very small to see, so if any of you guys want to, the board has a copy of this in your folder, but if any of the rest of you want to see this, I'd be happy to share it with you or email it to you. But one of the things that we knew when we went under contract for this building is that there would need to be a change order done pretty quickly. The reason for that is that the plans incorporated about a $300,000 stormwater drainage system that would have been an underground storage tank out here behind the rock gym. Pretty significant project. And collectively between the school system and Wells and West, we just thought that our current retention pond was sufficient. If we cleaned that out, maybe expanded it a little bit, we could avoid this really expensive stormwater system. And we had to get approval from the engineers to be able to do that, and we didn't want to wait to start on the project for that approval. So we knew a change order was coming. There were some other negotiated items that we needed to work through for a change order. So I was given this list this week. You can see the date, 10/25, but this will be our first change order. And some of these are credits to us, some of these are additions, but you can see how it all balances out. So basically, what this includes is we had put in the contract to demo the first and second grade pods. The kindergarten and first grade pods. That will not be necessary until we build the elementary wing. We are going to need that space for classroom. So that was $39,800 that we will not be spending at this time. The grading that was going to be needed at the rock gym for the stormwater system, we got a credit of $115,000 there, and the storm retention system, $111,500. You'll notice that we are not getting back the full amount, and the reason for that is there's still work that has to be done. There's a very deep pipe that has to go under there for the stormwater system. There will still need to be some work done there to get all the water to the pond, but we were able to save a large chunk of money there. Number 4, what you will see there is mostly what was allotted for the elementary wings playground. So all of that was in the contract and is being credited back to us because at this time we're not building the elementary wing, therefore we won't need the elementary playground. So that was a savings of $77,200. The only addition there is $3,000 that we'll need to grass that area instead of the equipment. We did have some civil scope changes. Primarily that's a result of having to change our bus loop plan. Our bus loop was previously planned to be where the pods and the current existing cafeteria is. We're going to have to shrink that and make some changes there since we won't be able to demo the pods. But that also saves us about $75,000. A couple of other things that have happened. You can see number 6 is modifications to the retention pond, the relocating of the power. These were all things that we had to pay for. The oil storage tank clean out. If you'll remember from our last meeting, we found a second oil storage tank that we didn't know was there. I had initially reported 8,600 gallons of contaminated fuel. It had 9,100 gallons of contaminated fuel that had to be hauled off. We don't have the bill for that just yet, so the price that's listed there is an estimate. We are going to make some modifications to the bank at the bus garage to assist with draining there at the bus garage, and that works to our advantage because they can use the dirt that they're going to take off that slope and be able to use it on the site without having to bring dirt in. So that's a benefit to us. The reason that that's an expense to us for the most part is we will have to have an extended retaining wall put in there to accommodate those changes. Of course, we had temporary sidewalks put in at the middle school. We changed some flooring products to save some money and changed some lighting features in the building. And we also changed the kitchen water heaters to instantaneous. The reason for that is they're much cheaper, and when you get to they don't have a very long lifespan, and when you get to the point of replacing them, you most likely will replace them with instantaneous, because the others are so expensive. So it makes more sense to just go ahead and equip it with instantaneous, so when time comes for replacement, it'll already be prepared for that. So, all that to say, our first change order is looking like it will be a credit to us in a total amount of $369,240. So that's good news. There are some things that are coming that will be an expense to us that will kind of counteract this credit. But for now, this will be added to the contingency that we already had built into the plan. So change orders that do not have an additional expense do not require board approval, but I did want to let you all and the public know kind of what was in the works here. On the next slide, I have the budget. Maybe I don't. Okay. So our budget had about a $1.3 million contingency, and so that $300,000 will just be added to what we already had in our contingency. Do you guys have any questions about that? I also wanted to give you guys an update on daycare. Daycare has been a topic that we've discussed a lot in the spring and summer, and so I wanted to kind of give you an update. What I'm sharing with you are projections based on our current expenses and revenues. Instead of giving you actual ones, the actual ones are a little bit confusing because we get our subsidy a month later, and so it makes our expenses look a little different than they actually are, so we're providing projections. So based on, and Shelley, jump in if I need to add anything, but based on the projections of what we've taken in so far and what our expenses have been, we are looking at having about a $6,000 cushion at the end of the year. I anticipate that amount will go up for a few factors. One, we did not implement the new 5-star rates until August, and some of our students didn't start back until August. The end of August, really. And these go from July 1 forward, right? Yes. So if you think about when this fiscal year started, we were still at our old rates and we were at reduced capacity. So we will continue to give you updates on this. We also had an employee that was on maternity leave, and so that required us to reduce our capacity. And we are looking to hire someone, and when we do, we'll be able to add 4 more infants. So that will further allow us to increase our revenue from the daycare. But as of right now, I wanted to let you know that we are doing good. Do you guys have any questions about daycare?
Questions, comments?
The only other thing I wanted to mention is we do have a Veterans Day celebration coming up on November the 6th. We're doing it a little bit differently this year for a couple of reasons. One is parking on our campus is a little bit of a challenge right now, so we've had to be a bit creative. We're going to have parking over at the multi-purpose building up above the baseball field, and we're going to provide shuttles. We're going to shuttle the veterans to the primary school, and then they'll be able to enjoy breakfast, and the primary school is going to do some honorary things for them. We feel like that's a more appropriate way for our primary age students to be involved rather than the formal program itself. So they're going to sing and have some other tricks up their sleeves, I think, so we're excited about that. And also, then we will shuttle the veterans up to the stadium, but one of the things that will allow us to do is allow the veterans to enter together and have an honorary entrance, and I think that's really important. In the past, our veterans have kind of sat in different places and not had designated seating, and so that's an area that we wanted to work on. And also, our child nutrition program is going to be providing the food for the veterans, so we're very thankful for their help with that. So I just wanted to mention that. We have asked our veterans to RSVP. We don't have a lot of people that have RSVP just yet, so we would appreciate anybody spreading the word and helping us make that a special time. That's all I've got on that. I think the next one's me.
Residency audit, yeah.
So I just wanted to give you, I reported last month on our residency audit progress, and so I wanted to give you an update. So on the back of your sheet and on the next slide, I kept the last month's information on there, but I also included this month's information so you could see comparison. Last month we had 39 still pending in grade 3, that's down to 14. Last month in grade 6 we had 60 pending, that's down to 27. High school continues to be our biggest area of struggle because parents just aren't in the habit of checking backpacks and planners and getting things. It's much more digitalized in the high school world, but they're working hard on that. It's gone down from 86 to 46 in terms of the audit. We have run into a few people who have been a little disgruntled about us asking for this information. So we've had to work through some of that and are continuing to work through some of that. But it has been a difficult and challenging process for our schools to get this information back. I think one of the things that we might want to consider if we do this again every year is letting people know that at the end of the school year so they can be remembering to save their power bills or whatever the case may be. But I think there's been a sense that we're asking for private information. And so we've been talking to parents about, you can cross off your payments and we don't need your financial information. We're just trying to verify your residency. So anyway, wanted to let you all know that continues to be a work in progress. And I really appreciate all the work that's gone in at the school level to try and get these things done. I'll continue to keep you updated.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions or comments for Ms. Godfrey? Very good. Next, we have our career development plans, and Ms. Ravonda Palmer and Ms. Erin McCoy.
There's a whole slew of them.
A whole slew of them.
There's a whole
Yeah,
slew.
we have our team.
The whole team is here.
My name is Ravonda Palmer, and I'm the Career Development Coordinator and the CT Director for Clay County Schools. We are here to share with you tonight our implementation of our career development plans, and we have our team with us, minus one. We have Ms. McCoy, Ms. Cothran, Ms. Wayman, and Ms. Hedden could not be with us tonight, but she is part of our team. Next. Okay, starting July the 1st of this year, all 8th grade, middle, and 10th grade high school students in North Carolina will need to complete a career development plan to advance to the next grade level according to the law in North Carolina. This requirement begins for students finishing 8th grade in the 2024-2025 school year. If this is a chart that DPI has handed down to give us a better understanding of how this is going to flow, if you'll look to your far left, this is the current 8th grade group that we have at the middle school now, and they will start creating their career development plans. After they get it created, they will print out a PDF to Ms. McCoy, and she will share with the principals in order for them to be promoted to the next grade level. And if you'll skip over to one to the right, if you'll see that they've been bumped up to 10th grade, they will revisit this plan again. Now, they can revisit their plans anytime they want to, but in the 10th grade, they will be required to revisit and make any necessary changes, and they will prove to Ms. Hedden with a PDF printout that they have revisited, made any changes, and that way they will be able to be promoted to the next grade level. Okay. You go right ahead, Ms. Carter.
You were doing such a fine job.
I'll share the love.
So the importance of the career development plan, I feel like, is pretty self-explanatory, but it just helps with the early goal setting. It helps with career interest. It is attributed to, or it aligns with the student attributes. It is flexible. It helps with college and career readiness, and it helps them to know whether or not they need to go to the workforce right away, if they need to see Ms. Palmer to get an internship, shadowing. This is really nothing new for the middle school or the high school. We've done this, it's the 4-year plan. They're just calling it something different. So we've always done the career development plans. This one, though, is a digital platform, and it will be accessible to parents. That's one of the requirements in the new bill. So, and it just helps students to build self-awareness about what their dreams are, what their plans are, what they'd like to do. Go ahead, Adrian. And career development is not, I'm going to stress this, is not the sole responsibility of CTE or Student Support Services or any singular person. The way that career planning works the best is with a team, which is what we've always done really well at Hayesville. Our team has been identified, and this is your team. And with the addition of Emily Hedden, we're all experts in the field, and the students, we all work with all the students, so we're it. Go ahead, Adrian.
All right, so what is this going to look like this year, and how are we going to implement this? I think that was kind of like our first questions as a team together was, what is this going to look like for this very first year. So the first thing we did is during the teacher work days, we found, Ravonda found a training for us to go to. So we went there as a team on September 17th to AV Tech. We were there with other counties in the area. We were able to bounce off ideas with people from other districts in our area. We were able to get tools and resources and just time and space to kind of create what we were wanting to do. We were also provided a very nice lunch. So, it's always good. And then the next thing is the CFNC and the NC Careers bulk account creation. Erin has been working with that and talking to those people about creating those 8th grade accounts. They are coming from Power School and basically just bulk creating them in that platform for us. After that, we're going to start with the 8th graders and start creating those accounts with them, have them set up username, passwords. We will probably end up using their email addresses as their usernames, and then their passwords for Google will be their passwords, so that it'll be easier for them to remember and be able to access it. We have also discussed and are planning on implementing a parent information night. Anytime that you have new things like this come up, parents have a million questions for you, and we felt like the best way to tackle that was to have a meeting in our media center so that they could see us face to face. They could hear all the information at one time. Everybody's getting the same information, but it also gives them a space to answer, have us answer their questions, and then them to express to us any concerns that they may have so that we can work together to help their child. And then the bulk of our implementation plan is to work with the 8th graders in creating their plans. And so myself and Miss Erin, we plan on working with them during the win time. Dr. Clapsaddle has included a win time into our master schedule so that we can meet with these kids 4 days a week. We can even, since we have win times at the exact same time, we can actually pull our groups together. We felt like working with them in small groups instead of going into bigger classrooms was so that any help that they needed, that it would be a 1 versus 6, 8, maybe 10 versus 1 versus 25 and helping the kids. And it also allows us to do it in bite sizes for the kids so that they don't feel overwhelmed with the whole process. So that is where we will be doing majority of the work, and Mary has graciously decided to come over and help us during those win times a few times during the year, just so that we can get all the kids up and moving with that. And then we wanted to share with you guys the platform that we've decided to use. There was much discussion when we were out at AV Tech on September 17th about how we wanted this to look and what would be most accessible for our students and their families. And so we decided to go with nccareers.org. There's the platform. If you would like to go take a look at it, you can. But once students get in there and they set up their accounts, it will be accessible to us working with them, the student and the family, and it will also be a very simple and easy transition for them from 8th grade into the high school. So that was another reason that we decided to go with this platform. Okay.
And it's free.
And it's free.
Career development plans help students lead into our work-based learning opportunities. We offer internships, apprenticeships, job shadowing, and school-based enterprises. We also have pathways that students can earn workforce-ready credentials. These credentials can be stackable through the workforce and post-secondary institutions. We also provide post-secondary institution field trips. They tour business and industry. We have career days. We have our career fair. And of course, we have guest speakers. In the past, we have all taken our kids to post-secondary institution tours and industry tours in our area. We've even been outside of our area. We've been to Western. We've been to Biltmore. Now, she's the world traveler, especially around in North Carolina. She's taking kids from the west to the east. So you want to share a little bit about
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is nothing new for us here at Hayesville. We've done a really good job of working as partners to create those industry tours and those college tours based on the kids' interest. Just in the last few years, I think we completed 12 industry tours,
Oh, yes.
and 15 to 20 college tours just in the last couple of years. So, Adrian, you can go ahead and flip to the next slide. And that also doesn't count in the internships and the pre-apprenticeships that the CTE students are eligible to complete, just to kind of see and work, and they do get a college, or not a college credit, but they do get a credit for that on their high school diploma. The internship and the pre-apprenticeship program has grown by leaps and bounds under Ms. Palmer, so, I mean, if that's not a career development plan,
Well, it's everybody, it's not just Ms. Palmer.
Adrian, go ahead with the next slide. And then last year we hosted a huge career fair at the high school. We had over 40 booths set up and colleges that came, and that was very well attended. And we will be doing the same thing in November of this year. Adrian, go ahead. Ms. McCoy has made this beautiful flyer.
Would you like to share it, please?
I'll really bring it home for us. So we hope that you guys can attend our career fair on Monday, November 18th. We really do. We have over 40 confirmed booths. We're super excited about it. This year, the middle school and the high school are going to be working together just to make it more feasible for our businesses to come out. So we really hope you do. You join us. Take a look around.
Yeah. And that is also the same night that we're going to host our FAFSA information night for the senior parents to come. So we set the time for the career fair from 5:30 to 7:30 so that the seniors and their parents could come and tour all the booths ahead of time. And then our career fair, or our FAFSA night, will start about 6:30. So anyway, so y'all are welcome to come, hang out, learn about all the fun things we have to offer in Clay County and the surrounding areas, and learn a little bit about FAFSA.
There you go.
That's all we've got.
Any questions or comments for these ladies?
I guess we
This
should-
career fair was really good. I enjoyed it. I advise each one of you, you need to show up and look at all the different things they offered. It was just really a great time. And the ladies, the team did a great job last year.
Thank you. We hope to see you there.
Well, thank y'all very much.
Rhonda, I've got one question. On the career development plan, it says by their 8th grade, do y'all have like a goal date? You want these to be completed by our 8th graders, or?
Now, their goal is to get it created, just start creating it. This is going to be they won't actually finish the whole plan until
Senior year.
Yeah, senior year.
Okay.
They just have to go in there. What they'll do first is they'll do like a reality check. Then they'll do like interest surveys, and then they'll start career exploring.
Okay.
And then they'll flag little careers that they're interested in, and they'll start researching those, because there's a platform in there where they can do like virtual tours. They can go to the colleges and find out who offers that. And when they get to the 9th grade, when they go to register with Miss Hedden, she'll say, pull up your plan, what you're interested in. It'll make it easier for her to help schedule class.
But they'll have this time like for the full year. pretty
Yes,
much.
the full year.
That's
Yeah,
why.
they
just have to have it done before.
they have to have it done before the
That's
end of the
what-
school year.
Okay.
Yes,
That's
yes. I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
No. That was good to hear that. So I understand. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Anything else before we all walk away again?
No, that's good.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Very good. Next, we have our action items on the agenda, and we'll start with the beginning teacher support program.
So this is a plan that needs to be presented and approved every year. It follows state law and state board policy, so it's just basically going to outline, and the document that you have is the actual copy of the plan, and I've just broke it into a PowerPoint for you, so we can hit the highlights of it. Adrian? So every beginning teacher has a 3-year period that they will be participants in beginning teacher support program. It follows the timetable that's described in our state board policy TCED 016. It dictates that every beginning teacher have a mentor that's assigned to them for 3 years, as well as opportunities for professional development that meets the components of their formal observation processes. So this includes online traditional professional development, and it's always targeted at their needs. Okay, next. It's a lot. They are required to participate in the program, so they can't opt out. You have to participate in this. And you know, at our retirement and recognition, we do a little certificate for those that have completed the 3 years. Even if they don't start with us, if they finish with us, we recognize them to say, hey, you're done, you've made it. So we identify those that are going to participate as part of the initial hiring process, and we look at their licensure to see what type of experience they've had. Did they have an out-of-state license and they didn't complete a beginning teacher program? All those things play into it as to whether they'll be required to participate. So they get an initially licensed or initial teacher license. That's a 3-year license. You have to complete, and we have to sign off on these things as they progress through their first 3 years of teaching and they complete this program. At the end of 3 years, they can apply if our board and our principals and our superintendent agree that they should be recommended for a continuing license with that summative at the end of their 3rd year, then we can help them apply for that. We look at, like I said, the other states. So like if a teacher's coming from Georgia, they're part of our reciprocity. So if they completed 3 years in Georgia, then they don't have to participate in the beginning teacher program with North Carolina as long as they have completed a licensure program in that state. So it depends on what state they're coming from, whether it's part of that agreement. And then those teachers that are completing an alternate route to licensure also have to participate. So your residency license and alternative license. Adrian? So the only ones not required to participate are those that have completed those years of experience in that reciprocity agreement, or people in the student services personnel, so students, social workers, psychologists, such as that, counselors, things like that. All right, they have to have a professional development plan, and any teacher will tell you they have to have a professional development plan. You begin at the beginning of the year, you go through those goals, you have a middle of the year meeting, and you have an end of the year meeting, just like any other teacher. The difference for a beginning teacher is that they get 3 annual they get an evaluation throughout that first year, and then they have a peer observation. That has to happen all those 3 years. Their peer observer in Clay County, we do not have that be their mentor, because we feel like their mentor should be someone they can go to and, you know, feel like comfortable with, and it's not somebody that would ever be observing them or judging their education or teaching experience. And then at the end of the year, they have a summative evaluation. And all of our participants right now participate in the RESA and Western Carolina partnership for a beginning teacher orientation, which helps us out a lot because they cover everything that should be covered in that first year orientation. So we really, really like that. They also offer one mid-year if we need it. Okay, Adrian? So whenever possible, we will follow these guidelines that are set out in that school board policy so that we make sure beginning teachers are teaching in their area of licensure, unless that was an agreement they made in the hiring process and they know that they're going to be out of their area, and we help them get a provisional license for that. We ensure that they have a mentor, and we try our best to make sure they are in close proximity. We do have one right now. Lisa Birch is the mentor for Kayla Klontz, but that is the best mentor for her because Lisa is our early childhood person and Kayla is teaching early childhood education, and they partner with Ravonda for that internship for that early childhood class for CTE credits. We schedule their orientation prior to school beginning, and that's usually the week prior to them coming for the first teacher work days. They usually travel together to Western. We, take care of their transportation and everything. And then we do our best to limit the beginning teacher's number of class preparations so that they're not more than the average teacher would have. We limit the number of exceptional or special ed students or difficult students they have assigned to them, no more than the regular teacher's average. And then we avoid assigning them extracurricular activities, and if they do want to participate, like as a coach, then they have to get written permission. Their principal has to sign it, and we have to put that on file, and that goes in their beginning teacher notebook. And then we also provide them opportunities to network with other beginning teachers. I reach out. Our peer county is Cherokee County, and Caesar and I work together to try to network teachers of like subject areas or like grades and try to do that kind of stuff. All next. And this is all the requirements of mentors. So we ensure that they have a qualified, well-trained mentor. They go through at least 1 or 2 trainings for that. If there's an update to that training, I send that out. Keisha is one of our, did I say Keisha? Yeah, there's Keisha. She is one of our mentors, and she'll tell you, I send out emails about trainings and things that are going on. If there's a checklist due, things like that, we keep those mentors informed. We ensure that they have achieved a proficient rating as a part of their evaluation the previous school year. If they have not, we will take them off the mentor list until that rating has gone back up. We determine which one best meets the needs of the beginning teacher. Like I said, we want people in like subject areas, like grades, close proximity. We ensure that they are selected using a criteria including a range of characteristics, experiences, and dispositions that indicate that the mentoring potential from a variety of stakeholder groups. So we don't just say this one person is always going to be our mentor. We try to make it a variety. You know, you've got different personalities of people, so we try to find the best fit. And if a beginning teacher or a mentor were to say, hey, this partnership is not working out, then we would, of course, work with them to find a better match. Mentors have to be willing. They do get paid. We pay a stipend out of our Title II funds to help pay for that. We ensure that orientation is there for the logistical and emotional support for beginning teachers. We ensure that the mentors selected have knowledge and exhibit a positive attitude in regard to the district norms here in Clay County, the culture, the mission, the strategic priorities, and our state goals. And we ensure that the mentors selected have demonstrated success with regards to the student achievement. So you don't want a poor teacher being a mentor to a beginning teacher, you know. So we do look at EVOS. We look at if a teacher met expectations, and if they drop below that, you know, and it says did not meet expectations, then we aren't allowed to use them as a mentor. So, and then we ensure that mentors receive training, and that can either be face-to-face. We usually use that with RESA. We can use DPI for a face-to-face training, or we also have an online training through NESIS. Okay. Ongoing monthly meetings happen. I have them the first Wednesday of every month right now, and I typically send out a questionnaire to the BTs and say, hey, what do you want to know about? What is something you have found this past month that you need to know about? And I'll bring in guest speakers. I also use the mentors that we've partnered with from Western Carolina and the new teacher support program there. I send surveys, and then if they don't really have anything they want to talk about, then I find somebody, you know, that I think they need to learn about. And the past couple meetings, I've brought in Terry Hager and Melissa Cheek to just talk about what they do and how they can help those teachers navigate special education or making a referral for the school social worker. And then this next month, I'm having like our AIG coordinator, Kimmy Worley, come in, and Kelly Davis come in to speak about how to make referrals or how to support their students for AIG and ELs in their classroom. We do have an annual survey. That's part of the requirements of this program. We send that out to all the BTs and ask them, hey, how did it go this year? What was good? What was bad? What could we change to make it better? And we look at those responses and go over those. And BT files, we have to have a plan, and that's I think the very end of what's required. We have to have a way to transfer files to other districts, and I will say we've reached out to districts before that couldn't verify that someone had completed a BT program, so it's very important that we keep up with that, and we have a way to quickly transfer that, because we never want to hinder someone, even though they've left us and we hate to see them go. We want to make sure they have what they need so they continue and can complete those first 3 years like they're supposed to. So that's a bunch of that stuff. And that's it. Okay? Everybody good? And I just need your approval for this, that you all approve this plan, and that way I can stamp it and say it's done. We get monitored this year, so we want to make sure we got all this. They're coming December 4th, I think, to do this. So.
Who is monitoring?
We have Angela Udi coming from DPI. She was originally in Henderson County, and she's got a lot of experience working with their BTs. So the lady that retired, Angie, was a perfect fit, and she and I have been talking through all this, and I've already submitted everything for this monitoring. I'm just going through what we have to do and make sure it's documented.
What a great program, though.
It is. It is. It is.
A lot of services to ensure success.
Yes.
That's right.
Very good.
Yes.
This is what really helps us to develop a good school system because we're working with teachers to begin with.
Yes.
To get them ready. It's great.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Very good. Any other questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the beginning teacher support program. as
I'll
it's
make a motion
presented.
that we approve this.
Ms. Gray, Ms. Crawford, second. All in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next we have the HMS gym renovation.
In your packet, you have a few handouts from LS3P. One of the things that has been on my mind, and probably yours as well, but we're building this beautiful new middle school, and our middle school gym will continue to function as our middle school gym once this new building is built. At the last board meeting and the one before that, we went down and did a tour of the middle school to see all the improvements that Coach Dills has done with the mostly funds that were made in the bass tournament. And she's done a lot of incredible work, and we were very impressed by the things she was able to share and tell us. But there is some substantial work that still needs to be done in there, and as you guys saw on our tour, there's a need for updating the locker rooms especially. And so while LS3P was out here, I had them walk and take a look at this, and so basically what I want to propose, and I will say this is under the $30,000 threshold that requires board approval. However, there's no sense in me doing anything with this if this is not something that the board would approve of down the road, because the expenses, obviously, if we decide to go this route, would far exceed $30,000. This is a plan for a schematic design created by LS3P. It would include exterior repairs to the brick. There are some spots where there's cracks in the brick and there's a need for some repair there. It would also, the plans would include a new exterior door that would be installed into the boys' locker room so that the visiting team would be confined to the locker room and not have access to the entire gym. That would be included. And then in terms of interior spaces, it would include reconfiguration of the boys and girls locker room, restrooms to include the required number of fixtures and to accommodate a minimum of one ADA roll-in shower. Other walls may need reconfiguration to meet accessibility requirements. This will also include new lockers, floor slabs, mirrors, storage, plumbing fixtures, toilet partitions, toilet accessories, finishes, and ceilings in these areas, as well as domestic hot water systems. Currently our locker rooms are only heated. There is no cooling or humidity control, so we would hope to be able to update that and also add in exhaust systems. Include new LED lighting, new paint, and the existing public restrooms would have new wall-hung sinks. So that's what these schematic plans would include. These schematic plans would be required in order for us to submit to DPI to get approval for a renovation. You have to have schematic design. It would also be required for us to get a cost estimation of what this project would cost. Obviously, I named a lot of things, but it would be important for us to know what we can actually afford. But the only way to get a cost estimation is to have this schematic design. And so that's my motivation in seeking approval for this. The schematic design is $20,000. If we were to move forward, and this is on page 3, I believe, of this, page 3, Exhibit A. The schematic design is what we're talking about now. That's task 1, that's $20,000. If we decided to proceed with this project, once we get the cost estimation and all of that, there would be an additional $50,000 of required fees that would include $35,000 for the actual construction documents for the contractor, $5,000 for the bidding process, and $10,000 for construction administration. So there would be an additional $50,000 beyond this $20,000. The other thing is that if we get this schematic design and we decide we don't have the money to do this right now, we still have it on hand and we would have it available to apply for any grants that might come up in the future. As we know, having plans and having drawings and all of that has been very beneficial in helping us get grants in the past. So, that is what I am proposing. That money would come out of R&R, repair and renovation funds. Our current balance in repair and renovation is $867,437. And the repairs that we would potentially do would also come out of those funds, which is just what makes that cost estimator really important, to know what we really have the scope of being able to do without completely depleting those funds. The other thing that's on our radar that we know is probably going to likely need to happen in the near future is replacement of the gym chiller in the high school. And we're waiting on some cost estimates for that, because I think that's an important consideration. But the people that supply those to us are out of Asheville, and they are very far behind in trying to get those schools that were affected by the hurricane back up and running. So we're not the priority right now, and that's totally fine. But I do want you all to just know that that's a piece of this pot of money too that we're considering. So, do you guys have any questions? Or
Just want to make sure that the exterior door, we understand that's for visiting football teams. When they use the gym in the past, there's been issues of vandalism and stuff like that from visiting teams. So that exterior door would allow visiting teams to come directly into the men's locker room area, but not have access to the entire gym. So
that would keep
Which
them
is
off
a good
of.
thing, because of the cleats tearing up our gym floor and have to refinish it.
That's what I was going to say, and also just
Trophy room.
going through that hallway there where the concession stand is, just gets very dirty, and it would just be better if we could contain them. So I would love if we do the cost estimator and can afford to do all of these things, but there are pieces of this that I feel are our priority over some of the other items. But I just feel like if we're going to have this nice new middle school, we need to have a updated gym to go with it.
Well, after we did that tour, you know, and some of the things that Deals has already done is fantastic. Once you walk into those locker rooms, it's like, it's a shock. They're so depleted and just dilapidated.
If you've not been, go take a walk.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure Dill's will be glad to give you a tour if you want to see how bad it is.
Melissa, do you mind repeating what the current R&R balance is?
Sure. $867,437.
Thank you.
And Shelley, can you share with us how that money gets replenished and how often? Do you know that?
It's usually once a quarter. It is awarded through lottery funds, through the State Bill and Capital Fund.
And is that's a variable amount?
Variable.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments about schematics?
But those funds could be applied to actually the work.
That's where it's where it would come from, unless some grant funds became available.
Okay.
And we do depend on our repair and renovation for a lot of different things, so I wouldn't want to completely deplete that fund. We need to keep a little cushion, but that's a substantial amount of money, and I know that DPI would like to see us use it, and I also want the lottery to know that we're putting those funds to good use.
Any other questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we approve Ms. Godfrey's recommendation to have LS3P come up with a schematic design to remodel the middle school gym.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Jones has a motion. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Ms. Beck seconds. All in favor? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have the primary school improvement plan. We have Ms. Rickett and Ms. Delaney Smith.
So while they're coming on, just a quick thing, we are doing our school improvement plans 2 this month and 2 next month. Okay. So we'll hear from primary and elementary today and middle and high next month.
Hi, you guys. So I'm Shay Rickett. I'm the school counselor at the primary school, and I am part of the school improvement team, as well as Precious Delaney Smith, who's our kindergarten teacher. And so we're going to go over our goals for this school year. Okay. Math, we're going to focus on increasing overall math proficiency in iReady to 80%. That's kindergarten through 2nd grade. We also want to have a 70% increase on grade level for reading and M class. again, K through second. And then behavior, we use Educator's Handbook, and so we want to work on reducing office referrals by 10%. So showing that we are meeting that behavior goals. And so next, we're going to talk about just action steps that we have created to work on the academic and behavior tiers of support. And these specific action steps go for A417, talking about how we're implementing a reliable, valid, system-wide screening process for academics and behavior, and multiple times per year to assess that is also to target interventions. And so one of those ways is we're going to develop standard treatment protocols for supporting students in the SEL framework of interventions, and that's with myself. Again, define SEL Tier 2 and Tier 3 strategies. The counselor, myself, will communicate with teachers when a student exits the counseling program. And so that's one that I wanted to add in to make sure that teachers and parents are on the same communication with that. We're also going to have the teachers use the Bridges interventions with students to determine intervention groups. And we're going to utilize federal funds, the Title I and RLIS, to supplement instructional materials. And then next, I want to go over real quick the behavior management. So related action steps with A107. So our goal is for teachers to employ effective classroom management and reinforce classroom roles by positively teaching them. And so all staff will create a classroom roster in Educator's Handbook. And again, Educator's Handbook is how we document office referrals or minor incidents at HPS. Administration will create and share a school-wide code of conduct that will be shared with families and staff. And we have created videos to reinforce positive student behaviors. And so we've created those videos, we've worked on them, and then we're getting those all ready to use with the students. And it's going to be really cool to see. They're real fun.
Okay, I'm up next. And I've got the standards aligned units of study and how we're going to key in on our collaborative planning this year as teachers and as departments to kind of problem solve together, go over best practices. As far as grade level teachers, we're going to participate in common planning weekly. And then we'll also get together bi-monthly in PLCs to collaborate there as a grade level as well. And then this year we're also adding in that the EC team will also participate in bi-monthly collaborative planning meetings as well. And then also for our grade level transitions, I'm excited for this one. So in HPS we have had a visit up day for the past few years where students get to visit the grade level above them and meet the teachers, participate in activities, see the classrooms. But this year we want to ask them prior to their visit what it is they would like to learn from the next grade level or what they would like to see, and then meet back with them afterwards to see if their questions were answered or just their overall feedback from the next grade. And then also we want to make sure as an MTSS team with the loss of our instructional coaches and kind of a little bit of restructuring as far as our MTSS goes, that as students transition to the next grade level, that important documentation from the MTSS teams kind of seamlessly transfers to the next grade. So that's what we're looking at for our transitions. And then I think Ms. Heather's going to do our last slide on beginning teacher support.
So I wanted to add this one in as a little bit of accountability for myself. Beginning teacher support, we do have a district-wide beginning teacher support plan, but through talking with Melissa about my professional goals, my personal goals, I wanted to better support our beginning teachers and just looking for avenues to do that. So I'm going to intentionally create a structure at HBS for our beginning teachers. The way the goal is worded through NC STAR, which is the platform we use for our plans, it says year one, like in their first year of teaching, but I'm kind of expand that into, I feel like anybody within their first 3 years, and not necessarily just teachers, but I think any of our support staff as well, just to be intentional about
there are so many things that go into teaching besides just your instruction. I mean, there's the culture of the school, the climate, the discipline. There are so many pieces that you can't go into a school knowing all those things right away. It's just learned over time. So that is a place where I feel like I can be intentional in that. So I added that as an action step for us as well. So that one's on me. And while I have these girls, I want to just brag on them. Both of them, Miss Delaney has taken over the MTSS support role. She's our MTSS leader, and she's done a phenomenal job with that. She has made the transition just absolutely seamless. We lost an instructional coach and an interventionist, but having Delaney and the support of Rochelle Leak, it's just really been wonderful, and she's just made it work so well. And then Shay and Michelle Calashoni lead our SEB team. And again, that same level of professionalism and hard work has gone into making that work so well for our school and for our staff. So I just wanted to embarrass them a little bit and thank them for that. But do you guys have any questions for us?
Questions or comments?
It's great.
Okay, so we are seeking your approval of our school improvement plan as it has been presented.
Impressive.
And it's a working document. It's ongoing all the time, but this is just that snapshot moment in time.
Very good. Any other questions or
Thank
comments?
you so much. It's informative and impressive.
I do want to say, when you said you do ask the kids, or you did ask the students, what they want to learn, I'd love to know what they want.
I'm sure there'll be some highlights. We'll be happy to share.
I'd love to hear what they want to say.
I do have a request. When you make the behavior videos, we would like to see them.
This-
I got a glimpse of
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
I got a glimpse of one.
She
Actually
was nice
shared
enough
it
to
with.
share it with me. So
I'll share it with the rest of you.
actually, I was impressed.
It was
Yeah,
Lisa
was really
Birch
good.
modeling what not to do at Carline pickup.
Yes.
Yeah,
She did a really good job.
And that's probably for the school board after party after the meeting.
We can't wait to see more.
Yeah. So I'll entertain a motion that we approve the Hazel Primary School improvement plan as it was presented.
I'll make the motion.
Mr. President, has a motion. Mr. Jones, second. All in favor? Very good. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Next, we have the elementary school improvement plan.
And just so you all know, the elementary school also has behavior videos.
Yes, we do. So the SIT team at HES has been meeting and working hard to make new goals for this year. Some of these goals may look familiar to you, but we used the great progress that we made last year and are building upon that to reach even higher places. So for math, our goal is to have 64% of students proficient, which means they score a 4 or a 5 on their math EOG. Last year we had just over 50% of all of HES score a 4 or 5. So we have developed some action steps to increase that proficiency. One of the things that we're most excited about is we've been able to adjust our master schedule, and the 4th and 5th grade now have a shared intervention time where all of 4th and 5th grade are doing intervention at the same time, and all 8 of the homeroom teachers are able to share the 4th and 5th grade students in intervention groups that are targeted for tier 2 and tier 3. Some 5th grade teachers are seeing 4th and 5th grade students combined because their needs match. So everyone's getting 2 rounds of intervention several times per week throughout the 4th and 5th grade. And we've also have one teacher from each grade level has joined a math cohort through RESA, and they've been going a few times a month, and they're going to earn a certificate, and we're excited for them to come and share at our staff meetings what they've been learning.
So for reading, it's basically kind of the same things. Last year we were 41.7, and we're going to increase to 53%. And that's again not just passing; it's level 4 or 5 for the EOG and reading. Again, we did the shared tiered interventions as well for reading and math. But something new that we're doing is we've restructured our MTSS monthly meetings since we've lost our interventionist and an instructional coach, so that the homeroom teachers are allowed to go to these meetings now during their planning if they have a student that's coming up for the MTSS team. We've also implemented a new intervention called Rewards. It's a program for fluency that we're doing with Tier 2 and Tier 3 students.
So our third goal is about our behavior expectations. We're tracking those through the same app, Educator's Handbook, the same app that the primary school is using. And our goal is that at least every student will get at least a 90% on their conduct grade each 9 weeks on their report card. And one of our first action steps, it was exciting, at the beginning of this school year, we hosted a behavior fair, and every student in every grade went through rotations where we all heard the same language and the same expectations for every place. So it was like the cafeteria behavior, the playground, the classroom, the hallway, the bathrooms. So they got to rotate through those and see videos of do's and don'ts, and talk about and like model it with each other with their groups.
A really cool thing about that was that every student and every staff member had the same exact spiel.
Yeah.
So every student knows exactly what to do and not to do in the hallway. We felt like a broken record that day, but we felt that it was really important to make sure they knew exactly what we expected. And the teachers heard the same way, so that they are reinforcing the exact same expectations.
I actually had an opportunity to visit on that day, and it was super cool what they were doing, which is where I got to see the what not to do and what to do in the bathroom, which was Miss Casey and Miss K, and it was being Miss Casey, not a Miss K. But they did present all of their instruction in a really fun, engaging manner, and it wasn't boring at all. Like it was really fun to visit. Yeah.
We also start every morning with a bee buzz. And each week we focus on a different character trait. We introduce it in different ways each day, and that character trait is what the students are trying to show that week specifically, but also the whole school year, to earn their Student of the Week on Friday, which we honor, and they get to go in the claw machine and are recognized at our house high meetings.
They're also featured in our weekly Buzz, the Buzz newsletter that we send out, share out through Remind and through Facebook. So you'll always find the Student of the Weeks, their pictures and their names there.
And then something new we're doing this year is through Google Classroom Check-In, and it's connected to the teachers and to our school counselor. And every morning, every child just goes into their Google Classroom and just does a little check-in, so we can kind of see, if there's somebody that we need to touch base with, if they've just had a bad day, bad weekend. It's just a good way they don't necessarily have to come and share publicly or anything, but they can, and we know to handle with care.
One more piece that we've really started hitting on this year, we started it last year to test it out, is for those students who are showing the Tier 2 and Tier 3 behaviors, is our counselor Berkeley is creating behavior contracts. So where this goal might be too far-fetched for those students, we're coming up with a different goal that is more achievable by that student. And so I was just looking at our numbers earlier, and we actually only had about 5% of our school not meet this goal this first quarter, which is really big, as a lot of them are transitioning to the elementary school. And so I just wanted to kind of show what our iReady beginning of the year data was to support our goals for this school year. So this is really giving big kudos to the primary school. If you look down there beside grade 3, you can see the striped green and the regular green is already almost at 50% on grade level. So that's huge for us. And you can tell that 4th grade stayed really close to 50% where they're supposed to be, because they had such high scores as they finished up 3rd grade. But overall, the top of the school, you can already see that between the green and the yellow, which the yellow is just a little bit below grade level, that we've got a lot of work still to do, but we've got a good foundation to work from. And so that's encouraging as we start the year off. And then for math, this is one area that we are really focusing on a little bit harder this year by having one teacher per grade level go to the math cohort so that we can start increasing more math skills for our students. That number sense we've noticed is a really big area of weakness for some of our kiddos. So we've got a lot of work to do, but we're excited and up for the challenge and can't wait to compare this to the end of the year data that we show you guys. And then the last slide is just the BOG, which is the beginning of grade 3 test. The blue is the amount that are not proficient in BOG, which at the very beginning of the year, we don't expect many of our third graders to accomplish that because those are long passages and they're just not mature and ready enough for those yet. But we did have several that passed those, which is great.
That test is equivalent to the EOG.
At the end of third grade. Yeah, it's big.
But it gives us a baseline to measure their growth from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, which is why they take that assessment.
And for the students that did pass this one, the BOG, they've already met a pathway to meet the North Carolina Read to Achieve law, which means they've already got a pathway in the 4th grade. Is there any questions?
I have just a quick question. On your percentages that for your goal percentages on goal 1 and 2, are those from the long range goals from DPI? Is that where you came up with those numbers?
What we used as last year's goal, we just adjusted them. Now it's showing you where we were last year, and we're going to keep pushing to reach those.
Okay.
The ending goal is our
still
same ending goal.
Have not
last year.
changed. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Very good. Any questions or comments? I'd just like to say thanks. This is probably, it may be appropriate, it may not be, but both of y'all have gotten up there and talked about the loss of instructional coaches and loss of staff. So I can remember coming on the board how many years ago, and Mr. Penland used to always talk about public schools doing more with less. And so it's just another example of losing funds, losing positions, and having to do more, and you guys, ladies, stepping up and making things happen. So thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. So we would like to seek approval for our school improvement plan for this week.
Is there a motion that we approve this school improvement plan?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Caldwell has a motion. Is there a second to that?
I'll second it.
Mr. Crawford? All in favor? Thank you. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
And next we have the MOU with the Bridge Program at Tri-County Community College.
So the Bridge program is located at Tri-County Community College, and it serves as an adult high school. Students are eligible to attend the Bridge program when they turn 16 years of age. And they do have to have principal permission to enter that program. It serves as a bit of an alternative school for us, and so it obviously we believe in what we have to offer at Hayesville High School, but we know that sometimes there are challenges that families go through that make school very difficult to be successful. And so this is a program that's available to students, and we have students that go for a variety of reasons that they transition to the Bridge program, but one of the things that it does offer is the ability to graduate and do primarily all of their work online. So for some kids that are, having difficulties, whether it's peer relationships or mental health or physical health problems, sometimes this can be an option. These MOUs are, excuse me just a second, I got the wrong copy. I got the one with my notes. These MOUs are signed, re-signed on every even numbered year. So this is coming up for discussion because it's an even number year. And so really it's very short and sweet. If I can just call your attention to that the adult high school program was adopted by the North Carolina State Board of Education in December of 1992. And by the North Carolina State Board of Community Colleges in January of 1993. So on, it's just the back of the front page, there's some recommendations 1 through 11. 1 through 3 of those recommendations really just outlines the program itself that indicate that the diploma and the transcript shall represent the same quality and appearance as issued by the local education agency. Number 2 indicates that adult high school is required to match the graduation credits of a traditional high school. Number 3 outlines that it must be a mix of core and elective credits in the same way that our high school offers curriculum. Numbers 4 through 6 outline responsibilities for students. And numbers 7 through 10 outline the responsibilities of the community college. And so that includes things like the instructors have to hold a bachelor's degree or higher. They can offer face-to-face, online, or hybrid. Just the kind of the flexibility on the part of the community college or what that outlines. And number 11 just indicates that these agreements of affiliation are signed every 2 years on the even years, which is why this has come up for discussion. I recently had a meeting with 2 people from Tri-County Community College, and we talked about ways to improve just our communication and partnership as it pertains to students who might be good candidates for this program or may have an interest in it, and how we can work together to make sure they're afforded every opportunity to be successful in high school here, but if there are challenges they can't overcome, that we facilitate and help them seek enrollment at the adult high school if that's what they choose. So it gives us an avenue to prevent dropouts, essentially. And since we don't have an alternative program, this serves as an option for us when those situations arise. Do you have any questions?
The outcome is the GED program, is it not?
So for these, no, it's actually in a high school diploma.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So there is a GED program too, but this is this is actually adult high school.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was confusing it as I did.
Yeah. They offer both at Tri-County.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions or comments from Ms. Guthrie about that MOU with Tri-County Community College?
All those pages in the back are just the graduation requirements.
How many current students do we have there? Do you know?
Well, it changes. I think we have somewhere, and I can find out for sure and let you know, but I think we have somewhere in the neighborhood of about 15 kids.
Oh, really?
And so if they complete the program and graduate at the time that they would have graduated, then those count toward our graduation rate.
Oh, good.
So we are right. So Dr. Shook signs those diplomas, I sign those diplomas, and so there is, and that's outlined in the MOU, there is a working partnership in how those students are tracked.
Good. Any other questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain the motion that we approve the MOU with the Bridge program at Tri-County Community College as it was presented.
I make a motion that we approve it.
Ms. Beck, is there a second to that?
I'll second.
Mr. Caldwell seconds that. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And next we have the school calendar change request.
Yes, so I wanted to make a recommendation that we consider a calendar adjustment for this Friday, November 1st. That was previously scheduled as a remote learning day and was scheduled intentionally. We know that a weekday Halloween can be a little challenging when you have kids who are out late trick-or-treating and then they're sugared up. It can create some challenges the day after. And we do typically put a few remote learning days within the calendar so that we can schedule parent conferences, and so it seemed like a good opportunity to kind of allow time for parent-teacher conferences, training, and other things that we need to do, and also be strategic about that day after Halloween. However, we also know, and we've had much discussion about the calendar and how short the fall semester is. And we've had some impacts already into our fall semester with the hurricane and missed days there. But beyond that, there's also some other things that are in the fall semester, such as the pre-ACT, the Veterans Day program, and things of that sort, which further take away from instructional time. So our fall semester started out at 79 days. And then we had 2 remote learning days. We have also had 1 weather day due to Hurricane Helene. And we do have to take away 5 days for testing at the end. So you couple all that together, and Mr. Overland can tell you that those high school teachers that teach tested subjects really feel that crunch. And every class period is significant, and anyone lost is a significant loss, and anyone gained is significant. So our goal in this ask is just to create another opportunity for our students to get as much as they can and create the best opportunity for them to be successful in their fall courses, knowing that there's still December to come, and there may be some weather-related days as early as December that we might have to deal with. And so we just want to be proactive on the front end and give those kids, as I said, the majority, as much instructional time as possible. So my request would be that we convert that remote learning day to a regular in-person school day. I did, knowing that this request was going to be made, go ahead and put that out to parents that this proposal was coming up, just so they would have advance notice and be able to plan. There was a bit of negative feedback from a few parents about that, and so I went back and reviewed. We have had school the day after Halloween for the last 15 school calendars, unless it fell on a weekend. So we do understand the challenges because we've done it plenty of times, but we also feel like that for the high school level, especially, that this day is important for them to get back. And for our other grade levels, we have encouraged them to be as strategic as possible with the activities they have planned. So I know the middle school is doing their house celebration, their house games that day. So I think we can make it a productive school day for everybody with your approval.
So you've heard that recommendation to make November the 1st an in-person day and not a remote day. So is there
Make that motion, we accept it.
Mr. Jones makes the motion to the change in the calendar. Is there a second to that?
I'll second that.
Ms. Beck seconds that. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next we have budget amendments. Ms. Hollingsworth.
Okay, in your packets that were online, you did receive the budget amendments. We have State Public School Fund this evening and the Federal Grants Fund. We'll do the State Public School Fund first. It's an additional $32,735, which reflects School Technology Fund allocation for the year for $14,578, a small correction to the EC allotment for $90, the principal bonus that will be awarded with November payrolls, $2,153, and then school connectivity, $15,914. Are there any questions for the state amendments? Okay, for the Federal Grants Fund, I think you probably all remember when we went over the actual budget resolution last month, it looked a little less than what it has in the past, which is going to, because we don't have any more ESSER funds, but we were also having a hard time with our budget approval system. So a lot of those budgets did get approved before this meeting. We're budgeting additional $1,042,395.08. Those are for IDEA Pre-K, Title I, IDEA, Title II, 108, RLIS funds, and then IDEA Target Assistance, and then ESSER 3 monies. And then you have the total for each one of those different allotments down at the bottom of the page. Do you have any questions regarding those?
And that's the last of the ESSER funds, right?
That is the last of the ESSER funds. That was the small amount that was still left between July 1 and September 30th that we had to spend, and that's it.
Very good. Any questions or comments about the budget amendments? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we approve those as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve. That's presented.
There's a motion. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Mr. Jones, second. All in favor? Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hollingsworth. We got the contract renewal for Bolton Construction, sorry.
We also uploaded in your materials the information regarding the annual maintenance agreement with Bolton.
We typically have not brought this before the board because it's just an annual renewal. However, that over the past years, it has increased significantly, and we wanted you all to be aware that we are in the process of trying to identify other vendors for that. We fell a little short this year identifying vendors that are licensed in our state. However, we are going to continue to look for other vendor possibilities for these services. We do have 20 years well over 20 years experience with Bolton. They've been doing this for us for a long time. So it's not that we're unhappy with the services they provide, but we just feel like we're at the point where we need to start shopping around a little bit. But for this year, we would like for you to go ahead and recommend for us to go ahead and go into this agreement with Bolton.
It's frustrating if there's not people
It is.
to get bid that provide these services.
Yeah.
So
And a
you
lot of our people that are in close proximity to do this are in Georgia, but they can't.
can't work in
Can't
the
go
county.
Yes.
So you have the recommendation that we renew the contract with Bolton Construction. Ms. Hollingsworth, is there a motion that we approve that?
Make a motion to approve
Mr. Jones has a motion. Is there a second to that?
I'll second it.
Ms. Crawford, second. All in favor? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hollingsworth. Next, we have the consent agenda. In the consent agenda, there is the board meeting minutes from September 23rd. And then there are some policy updates there which are only legal reference changes. There's no change to the actual verbiage in the policy there. And then
That's just what.
okay. So there's the consent agenda, so I'll entertain a motion that we approve it as presented. Mr. Caldwell has a motion for that. Is there a second? Mr. Jones seconds that. All in favor? Thank you. And then, just for your information, there were policies in the email. The first read that's there. And then, I guess, any other comments or remarks from the board? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we go into closed session.
I'll make a motion, we go into closed session.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Thank you.